Oh, guys, you gonna ever shut up these days? I swear. If I says anything regarding one more time about voter suppression at this point over here, people are gonna start freaking. Weaver John C, how you doing? Scream and yell if you want to. Like, dislike, comment, not comment. Just share the damn video. Make sure people read the damn thing. Appreciate it. Thank you. And subscribe. Thank you. Thank you. Regarding the time index, you can't see worth shit. That's what happens when you don't have eyeglasses on right now. And no, the manic depressive is not kicking in. Or actually, probably has kicked in, and I'm probably blithering 80 at this point. It's about 3:40 in the morning, and it's still the 14th of October. It is still Wednesday in the morning. I should be back in bed sleeping. The thing is, my mind, among the manic depressive, has been trying to figure things out left and right concerning about the voter suppression situation. I'll deal with that in another video when I really get my manic depressive going on. But the thing is, what I was trying to worry about is how people wanted religion to be ruling our country one way or another. We were fearing about, for the past 30 years, I think approximately during that time, we wanted no Sharia law. We had problems against Muslims in the government one way or another. Therefore, we had our representatives being attacked left and right. Even when they were voted by popular vote and by people who believed in them, that they knew that they'd make a difference in the United States government and in their own districts. The problem is, because of their own religious and other affiliations with the Muslim community, people are going ape over it. Now, when we actually had that attack, I think, if I'm going to be following the logic line here, back in the 90s, that decade, we had World Trade I in an underground parking lot, attacked by a sheik and his followers as a van exploded, hoping to bring down a tower. It didn't. It just shook the hell out of it and destroyed some underpinnings in there. But because of that, we had the sheik arrested still under life, and the threat of a Muslim attack on the United States was devastating, and there was a lot of a lot of hatred, not anger, hatred towards the Muslim community and towards the religion of Islam. People keep confusing that Sharia law and the Muslim community are one, and they're not, except for some of those who are actually radical enough to believe in such stuff. Now, I haven't been up to speed when it comes down for the Quran. I'm a Christian. I haven't read about the Quran. We're not required, but I'd like to read the Quran just to see what the differences are at this point over here. Now, I understand it's a pretty peaceful religion when you can get to it, when you can understand it and practice it. It's a hell of a regime that they've got, too. But I don't hold it against anybody else that worships Islam or Judaism or Hindu. Why would that interfere with me at this point over here? But people fear. They fear what they don't know. Out of ignorance and arrogance and indifference. They hear from the voice from somebody else who has a lot of fear and a lot of anger towards another person, because they're hearing it from the grapevine and they're convinced about the damn thing, and the telephone line goes. And they're afraid of a Sharia law takeover here. What they've got to understand is our Constitution won't allow it, neither will the government, because that won't happen. We had set up a long time ago where we wanted religion and government separated. There was a religious principle somewhere followed, in my opinion, of my observations of history at this point, that there was a Bible passage that they were trying to follow. Render unto Caesar which is Caesar, render unto God which is God. Meaning, whatever kind of situations and powers and authority Caesar has, that's it. But anything beyond a Caesar, that's God's territory. Caesar has the mortal world, has the physical contact. But God has the soul and the mind and the heart of the individual. That's where he exists, and that's where he lives. the physical extension is just a physical extension. But what people are being confused about, in my opinion, at this point over here, and all my videos are my opinions and observations at this point, is that people want a religious controlled environment, but they don't want a religious controlled environment, but they want religion. They control it, which is conflicting and confusing us at the same time. If we actually had another country, or actually if we had the United States converted over to pure Christianity, the thing is there's no such thing as pure Christians. Never have been. We were divided in sects a long time ago, so. Well, we have Protestant, we have Lutheranism, Methodism, Catholicism, Protestant, Baptist. Just mentioned off several. Different viewpoints of how we view the Bible, different viewpoints how we view Jesus. And different viewpoints of how we think and feel religion controls us. Now, if they want a fear of religion controlling their country, they ought to look towards Iran. I'm not saying about Afghanistan, I'm not saying about Pakistan, I'm not saying about India or any other Muslim countries or Hindu countries. I'm talking about Iran. As far as the United States understands concerning about the government of working with Iran, religion rules everything. It controls politics. It controls politicians. The politicians can't get authorization until the Ayatollah, whoever's in charge, says so. Now keep that in mind. The United States freakouts that we have here. People going nuts because they're fearing that the Muslims are going to take over our country, our Congress, our way of life, and they're going to be installing Sharia law. The problem is, we had that in England. We got away from it in England. That's why we set up in the Constitution of separation of powers, of church and state. That's why religion is not a recognized, that's why one form of religion, one sect of it, is not recognized over everybody. Everybody has a fair shot of believing whatever kind of religion they want, as long as it's not interfering with the government, as long as it's not going to rule over the government. And the state of England was a church being invented out of the government. King George, Church of England. Google it. Confirm it. Put it into the damn comments. What can I say about it? I can only say at this point over here is we cannot have bigots and idiots who don't understand history and know how to put it into context, who doesn't understand how religion works, how faith works. Well, they understand how their own faith works. That's fine. But understand the separation of church and state, how we've got to set up in the United States compared to other countries who have religion dominating their countries. And I said Iran because it was the most affected country I know of. Now, we have religious bases affecting governments in other countries directly, but we've also have other, shall we say, sects, S-E-C-T-S, okay? Sometimes it's hard to pronounce which one's the right one. But you understand that a group of people who are under one particular faith are trying to dominate other countries because they want everybody under that particular faith. And I understand that the United States has a problem with that, but when they want Christianity only at this point over here, they're pushing away every other kind of religion we've got in the United States that was supposedly under the, well, at this point, the illusion of freedom. to worship whatever they want without any interference from everybody else. And we're not demonstrating now, are we? How many videos and how many reports and how many people have talked about this for decades on this? Even past 9/11, or even prior to that, in their own little circle groups, in their own little newsletters, in their own papers, in the editorial sections. Now, since we got the internet, everything's exploded and everybody can share. And people keep forgetting that they're only sharing so much because they're only given liberty and freedom so much in company controls. And I've already talked about that in other videos concerning about that. About how corporations only have limited capacity to allow people freedom. Then beyond that, forget it. Companies limit your illusion of freedom. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, just the number 3 main ones, and other ones that people use left and right. They all have their terms and conditions. Okay, that's going to be another video again, I guess. I'll have to redress that. But what I was trying to address at this point over here, without going into the other rants and ravings, because of the season we're in, that we have people still freaking out about religious aspects. They still don't want Muslims in the office of any sort because they're afraid of Sharia law. And they don't even realize what Sharia law is until they read about it. And it's usually in the other areas because they don't trust any other source. They don't cross-check and cross-reference. They don't learn. They don't even go to the Quran to find out what the hell the damn thing's all about. God forbid you'd actually look at someone else's religion just to see what it's all about. Might scare the hell out of them. Might educate them. Might make them liberal. Oh my God, no! People might think that's funny or insulting. Good. Because what I'm trying to get at to you folks is tolerance. Tolerance. Tolerance of each other. Tolerance of our beliefs, our ideals, our dreams, our faith, our belief. Everything. Common ground. And unfortunately, we still have a long way to go. And fortunately, we have a long way to go if we survive long enough. Because at this rate, I don't know what's going to be. If we're going to be the United States of America, or else we're going to be divided people of a so-called country named America. Oh, I'm sorry. Take out the capital A, just put America. And that's another video I had a raving about. But that's enough for me this morning. I'll rant at you later. Remember, subscribe button if you want to. Like, dislike, comment, please. Share it with people. Let them know what's going on. I'm just a 54-year-old fat fart sharing his viewpoints left and right. I'm sharing his experiences and knowledge base, and I try to keep as much as I can an open mind. Just bear with me that we all have our own differences left and right. We have our own quirks and our own personalities. We do things that piss people off left and right. But we're still human beings the last time I checked. We all should be treated as such. So, have a good morning, boys and girls. I'm heading back to bed.